Welcome back to another week of Easy Peasy Labeling with Melissa. That's me. Today what we are going to do is we're going to make a mixed length label. So if you're wondering what that is, mixed length is basically a programmable cut. So what we're going to do is we're going to enter in a couple different labels at one time, and then we'll tell it to cut, and it'll cut each one of them accordingly. So the tape that I'm using today is a shrink tube. So if you're not familiar with the shrink tube, what that is, it's basically a printable heat shrink tube sleeve. So instead of being an adhesive back label, it's actually a sleeve or a tube that you would apply to your wire or cable and then use a heat gun to shrink it down. Fun fact, some people actually don't shrink it down, I've found, and just leave it unshrunk so that they can move it and edit it as they need to. So we're going to use that material, and we're going to make just a simple mixed length label. So let's go ahead and get started. So, of course, we've got our PX900 here again. We're going to turn it on, and it's just going to bring us to the general screen. So in order to get the mixed length, that's here in blue, and again, anything in blue we want to use our shift key. So we're going to press the shift key and then the mixed length button. Now you'll see that it's going to bring us kind of a wizard or a little menu prompt to show you, to help you set this up. So we have two different settings for the length. First we have auto length, which means it's going to be as long or as short as it needs to be based on what you have typed in. So if you type in hi or happy birthday, it's going to be the appropriate length. We also have a set length, so if you know that you want them consistent 2 inches or whatever it may be, you can set that as well. And you're just going to use your arrow keypad to set that. So for now we're going to go with auto, so we'll just hit return. And then it's going to ask us the number of labels. For this one, we're just going to do 2 labels, but you can see you can just use the up and down arrows. You can type in the number. And the nice thing I really like is that if you're in there and you select 2, for example, and you realize that you need to make another one, you can always add it on there as well. So that's a nice feature, but we'll go ahead and set it at 2 and press return. Then the margins. Of course, we've talked about the margin settings, that set amount of tape wasted before and after the actual printed label. So we're going to set that on minimum, and again, just press return. Now you've got a couple different options for the orientation. So for this, we're just going to do the standard horizontal, but they do also have vertical 1 and vertical 2 as well. So you can see those are nice features to have. So again, we're going to go to horizontal and press return. And then it's just saying that it's going to override any text I have in there. We're fine with that. We can press return. Now you'll see here on your screen up in the top it says mixed length, so we know what feature we're in. And then we also have 0, 1. I always tell people the double digits in this scenario are going to be your labels. So 0, 1 is label 1, and then just the single 1 is line 1. So for this one we are going to type in, just like I said, we're going to type in hi. Okay, easy peasy. Got that? Then we're going to go ahead, if we wanted to add a second line of text, we would use the return key. Now you'll see it went 0, 1, and we have the 1 and then the 2 to show that we're still on label 1, but that's line 2. So I don't want that for this one, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit the backspace button and get it back out of there. And then I'm going to use the arrow to go down to our second label. Now you'll notice that the display changed as well, so there's nothing typed in there. For this one, we're going to type in happy birthday. See how I set that up? I can find the P this time. And birthday. D-A-Y. Birthday. So we've got that typed in there. We've set our margins and everything. The other thing I wanted to show you is that I have it on half cut right now. So I'll show you what that's going to do, but half cut is going to be a nice feature as well. If you needed any other labels, you could do that. If you realized that you wanted to add an extra label that you forgot about, you would just hit the column key and it would go ahead and drop you down to another label. All right, so we've gone and typed in happy birthday. Now we also have, I want to show you, I'm going to print this out and then I'll tell you a little bit about that half cut feature, which is really nice. So there's a different cutter setting, which we call the half cut. And what it is, some people call it the kiss cut, but basically what it's going to do is it's going to give you this kind of nice little divide right here. If you're using adhesive back labels, it's going to cut the labels separate from each other, but they'll remain connected on the backing. Really nice if you're sequencing something, want them to stay in order, or you just don't want a bunch of labels, you know, piling up. Maybe you want a string of labels instead of 10 individual labels in your hand. With the shrink tube, I really like that it does that as well, and it remains connected by the back of the tube. tube. So in order to pull those apart, you can see that there. In order to pull them apart, you're just gonna go ahead and kind of pull them at an angle like that to get a nice clean edge. And then with the shrink tube, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and just open it up and put your, now you guys are testing me. I swear it works a lot easier when you're not on video. And just slide it on there, and then again, some people choose to use the heat gun, others just leave it at that. Okay, so you've created a nice mixed length shrink tube label, and then we've got the other one here as well. You can see they make nice small. You can notice those margins are really tight as well. What else? I think that's about all we're gonna do today. I just wanted to show you the half cut feature. That shows that right up here where it says H cut on your display screen. That's what that is. You can also turn that feature off if you don't like that feature. Tune in again. Of course, if you have questions, if there's something you want to see, or you want to call out, please feel free, comment, shoot us an email. I think by now you should know how to reach us, so please do, and we'll see you again. Thanks for your time.